Okay, so before I get into this, I have to say that I'm trying a new format where I loop some trailer scenes rather than finding relevant stills from the show and playing them throughout. So if you've seen any of my prior reviews, just leave a comment and tell me which you prefer, and without any further ado, let's get into it. But wait, I lied. I have one more thing to say. I just took a peek at my research page, and I've got to say, having a tiny YouTube account can be a little disturbing. I mean, just look at my viewers' searches. I can't imagine many of you searched for Chemistry Class 12 Term 2 Marathon, so chances are, if you search anything, say 3 times, it will appear on my little list, which is just weird when you think about it. And which of you are searching for Beagle videos? But with that said, let's actually get into the video.
Dude, come here. Why you running? First you sleep with my wife, and then you come to my rap party? Get off our property!
As of this moment, you are officially a consulting detective with the Bishop PD.
Smells like murder.
So, I love detective shows, especially the more light-hearted ones with a twist. What can I say? The whole gritty realism thing just really isn't for me. You know, you get a few like City on a Hill, which you should 100% watch, but otherwise, not really my thing. Sadly though, there aren't all that many light-hearted type detective shows, at least not that I like. And once you've watched Castle, The Blacklist, Psych, Take Two, Lucifer, Elementary, Hawaii Five-0, Rosewood, Private Eyes, Veronica Mars, Stumptown and Life, on top of the many others I've seen over the years, the landscape does become a little bit bare. So, having dived as far as I could through Knox without getting anything too exciting, I came back to IMDb. And after a few hours of adding ratings and going through recommendations, I found Carter. Now, it's just called Carter. This isn't Get Carter, Find Carter or Agent Carter, so it can be a bit difficult to find. Your best bet is searching for Carter 2018. Sadly though, the show is ongoing, which may sound weird to many of you. I mean, why be sad you're going to get more episodes? Well, if you like it, you'll inevitably be left waiting for a new season. And the current last episode is always going to be some aggravating cliffhanger. And even if you think that's okay, you just can't binge through the show and be done. There is no sense of finality, which you get with a completed show. But I'll come back to this later. But that's enough intro, let's get into the actual meat of whether you should watch Carter. Well, it can be watched quite quickly. Having only 20 episodes over 2 seasons, each episode coming in at about 40 minutes. Which is longer than I like an episode to be, but it doesn't feel overly long. Personally, I'd give the series as a whole a 3.5 out of 5 or a 7 out of 10 for those of you who are bad at maths. But this isn't a season you can just try the first episode and see if you like it or not. Of course you could if you really wanted to, but I don't feel that Carter puts his best foot forward. In fact, I'd say the first episode is easily the worst episode of all. And if I was to give an individual rating, it would probably be a 4.5 or a 5 out of 10, so probably not something I'd continue watching. Needless to say, I almost stopped right there, and had it been a year earlier, I probably would have. But as I alluded to, I've run out of things to watch, and I've watched pretty much every good show I can find. Still, the show picks up, and the first season averages out to about a 6 out of 10. So for those of you paying attention, the series as a whole got a 7 out of 10, so needless to say the second season is quite a bit better than the first. But I've yet to really get into what happens in Carter, so let's get into that. But note there will be some spoilers, it'll all be minor stuff, so don't worry about ruining the show for yourself. Let's start with season 1 and the general overview. Carter stars Harley Carter, a TV detective from the in-universe TV show called Call Carter. After a messy breakup of his marriage, he returns home to a small town in Canada where he rekindles his friendship with his childhood best friends, Detective Samantha Shaw and small business owner Dave Lee. So after going back to town, he has to use his years of TV detective experience to help his friend, father figure and property caretaker Koji, who is arrested for murder. And after this, he goes from case to case helping the local PD. As a premise, it's far from original and feels much like something like Castle if he was an actor and the show was set in a small Canadian town. Still, if you give it a chance, you may find yourself pleasantly surprised, and if you liked Castle, it's a great show to jump to. Now, as I've already mentioned, the show gets better as it goes on, and come season 2, Harley Carter makes a decision to become a private detective. As a detective, he gets his own cases and has the police join him. The police chief is also replaced between seasons, and the new chief, a young black guy who rides a motorcycle, mixes up the group dynamic and becomes part of a larger arc as they try to work out what he's hiding. Now, watching the second season, it feels as though that's what the show was always meant to be, with the entirety of season 1 feeling a bit like a introductory episode, just setting up what was going to come. Now, it's not to say it's perfect though, and I have a sneaking suspicion that the script was not written before shooting, or was written away kind of mismatched. And why? Because at the start of season 2, Harley buys a shop to work out of, an antique restaurant detective's office. But despite this, and his assurances that he will stick around after spending £700 on a Windows sign, the building is never seen again. Instead, Harley meets his clients on the streets or in restaurants. Whatever the reason for this, otherwise the writing really does hold up throughout the series, so it becomes more of a weird writing choice rather than a symbol of the larger disorganisation. If you really value your time, you could skip through most of the first season, though if you choose to, I'd watch the first episode in the 9th episode. The first because you should always watch the first episode, and the 9th because it's my favourite episode of that season. Even though if you did just start with season 2, everything you missed in season 1 is fairly self-explanatory. So, should you watch Carter, be it the whole thing or just season 2? Well, my answer is yes, but with a caveat. I enjoyed the show, and if it appeals to your preferred genres, you'll probably enjoy it too. But there are many similar series out there that I just feel are better, so I can't in just good conscience recommend you just go and watch Carter if it means you don't watch Castle or any of the other shows I really listed at the start of this episode. Carter is entertaining, but it's nothing special, and it should be watched after many other series. However, on a more positive note, season 3 is set to begin in December, and if the quality of the show keeps increasing as it has been, not only will season 3 be the best season so far, it will definitely hold up to some of the aforementioned shows. So maybe give the first episode a watch, maybe add it to your watch list, or maybe wait until season 3 comes out for my inevitable review of it. It's up to you. But wait, there's more. So I took a brief break from making YouTube videos as I was enamoured with exploring the guitar, which I can now play to some small degree, leaving several half-prepared scripts while waiting, and this script was actually finished as you've heard it so far. Now, there's been talk of season 3, but the December release date I've mentioned was the December just gone, 6 months ago, and so far no news or new episodes have arrived. So I went back online and I tried to siphon through the internet news, of which Agent Carter being cancelled on season 3 makes finding news on just Carter a little difficult. However, I found the article I'd seen before on the Pop Times, which states that earlier it was rumoured that the police procedural Carter, starring Jerry O'Connell, has been cancelled for a 3rd season, according to multiple sources. No network, including CTV and WGN, have announced the show has been formally cancelled. Shooting or releasing a new season during the pandemic is unprecedentedly difficult, but then later announced Carter Season 3 has a release date, according to CTV Drama Channel Network. On December 17, 2021, new episodes will premiere. That's everything there is to know about the 3rd season. Though no true citation was given, but half of this has remained true. The show has not been announced as cancelled, at least so far as I could see. But now 6 months have passed since the expected season 3 release date with no news. So our chances of getting a season 3 doesn't look promising. This is especially the case when you consider that the last episode aired over 2 years ago now, on the 23rd of March 2020. And yet, as pointed out by the Cinemaholic, Carter received immensely positive reactions from fans, and they went so far as to say that they were sure that it would be recommissioned for a 3rd instalment. So, while I wouldn't say there's no hope, maybe Carter will be brought back for a 3rd season, maybe there'll be a spin-off, or maybe it'll just be another show forgotten and cancelled before its time. I can only find myself reiterating that if you feel as though you've watched everything you can find, Carter may be the next show for you, even if you do skip from episode 1 to 9 and then directly to season 2. But no matter what you do, remember to like the video, subscribe for more recommendations and reviews, and maybe even leave a comment about a video you'd like to see. So until next time, I've been Alexander, and this has been Should You Watch Carter?
Thank you for watching, audience member.
5